Stop. Just for a moment. Listen. Not with your ears, but with your mind. What do you hear? Have you ever truly asked yourself where your thoughts come from? Not the mundane ones. Not what's for dinner or did I lock the door? I mean the real ones. The thoughts that define you. The voice that narrates your life. The persistent whispers of fear. The sudden, fleeting urges of hope. The old, heavy judgments that you carry like heirlooms. Where do they originate? We live under a grand illusion, the most powerful and invisible spell ever cast upon humanity. It is the bedrock of our identity, the unquestioned assumption that governs our every move, the belief that says, I am the thinker of my thoughts. And what if I told you that most of them are not yours? What if I told you that you are living in a mind that has been colonized, a mental space that has been furnished, decorated, and booby-trapped by forces you've never been taught to see? Your mind, it can be your greatest ally, the key to unlocking realities you cannot yet imagine. Or it can be your most sophisticated prison, a cage with no bars, except for the ones you believe you built yourself. You were taught to believe that you think for yourself. It's a cornerstone of modern identity, free will, individual thought, sovereignty. But this is a convenient lie, a comforting myth that keeps the real machinery of control hidden in plain sight. From the moment you were born, you were immersed in a psychic ocean, a sea of suggestions, commands, and beliefs. Your mind, in its purest, most absorbed state, was a sponge. Think of the invisible voices that shaped your inner world. The voice of your parents. Their fears became your anxieties. Their limitations became the blueprint for your own sense of possibility. That critical tone they used, it was recorded, archived, and now plays on a loop inside your head, disguised as your own inner critic. It is the ghost in your machine. The voice of your school, teaching you not how to think, but what to think. It rewarded conformity and punished dissent, carefully pruning the wild branches of your curiosity to fit a pre-approved shape. It taught you the right answers, but never encouraged you to question the questions themselves. The voice of the media, the great architect of desire and discontent. For decades it has perfected the art of mental alchemy, turning your insecurities into their profits. It manufactures outrage, engineers consensus, and sells you not just products, but identities. It tells you who to be, what to want, and who to fear. It creates a consensus reality so pervasive that to even question it feels like madness. The voice of your culture, the invisible script you perform every day, the unspoken rules about your gender, your class, your worth. It defines what a good life looks like, what success means, and it relentlessly judges you against that template. And then there is the voice of trauma. Personal trauma, generational trauma, the wounds that were never healed, the sorrows that were never processed. These are not just memories, they are living energies. They create deep grooves in your psyche, gravitational fields that pull your thoughts back again and again to the same patterns of pain, anger, and victimhood. They are echoes of the past, dictating your present. Your mind was not liberated, it was domesticated. And the less you realize this, the more you are controlled. You mistake the voice of your conditioning for the voice of your soul. You defend the walls of your own prison, believing they are the foundations of your home.
So, if these thoughts are not truly ours, where do they come from? Here is the truth you were never meant to know. Your mind is not a generator. It is not an authentic producer of original ideas. Your mind is a receiver, an antenna. It is a highly sensitive instrument designed to tune into frequencies. And just like a radio, what it broadcasts depends entirely on the station it is tuned to. There exists a vast, invisible field of consciousness, a mental atmosphere that surrounds the planet. Some have called it the noosphere, the collective mind of humanity. It contains every thought, every emotion, every idea ever conceived. It is a cacophony of frequencies. There are frequencies of fear, broadcasted 24/7 by a world addicted to crisis. There are frequencies of scarcity, echoing the ancestral belief that there is never enough. There are frequencies of division, of anger, of judgment. And there are other frequencies, quieter, more subtle, frequencies of peace, of boundless creativity, of unconditional love, of divine intelligence. Without awareness, your mind's default setting is scan. It indiscriminately picks up whatever signal is strongest and closest. The collective anxiety of your city, the dominant narrative on the news, the unresolved anger of the person you just passed on the street. You walk through your day believing you are thinking your own private thoughts, when in reality, you are simply channeling the mental weather of your environment. You become like the thing you dwell upon. Emmet Fox. The great spiritual scientist Emmet Fox understood this with profound clarity. You become like the thing you dwell upon. This is not a metaphor. It is a statement of cosmic law. To dwell upon a thought is to tune your antenna to its frequency. Hold that frequency long enough, and your entire being begins to resonate with it. Your cells, your energy, your perception of reality, all of it begins to vibrate in harmony with that thought. This is the secret of control. They don't need physical chains when they can command your attention. They don't need to imprison your body if they can occupy your mind. All they need is for you to believe the thought is yours. And this is why fighting a negative thought is the most foolish battle you can wage. When you fight it, you are giving it your focus. You are grabbing hold of its frequency. You are pouring your precious life force into the very thing you wish to destroy. You are feeding the beast. So, what is the alternative? Here, Emmet Fox gives us the master key, the law of mental substitution. He taught that you cannot leave a vacuum in the mind. The mind abhors a void. If you try to simply stop thinking a negative thought, another one will rush in to take its place, usually from the same low-frequency station. You do not defeat a thought by fighting it. You replace it. You consciously, deliberately choose a different frequency. You change the channel, because that empty space in your mind will be occupied. The only question is, by you or by them?
This is where your true work begins. This is the last frontier of freedom. The first step is the most profound. You must realize in the very core of your being, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Imagine your consciousness as the sky, vast, clear, and infinite. Your thoughts are the clouds. They drift in, they take a shape, they linger for a while, and they drift out. Some are light and fluffy, some are dark and stormy. But no matter how terrifying the storm cloud, it can never ever stain the sky. The sky does not identify with the clouds. It simply allows them to be while remaining itself. This is your true nature, the silent witnessing presence. From this place of presence, you are no longer a victim of your mind. You are its steward, its master. Your mind must be treated not as your identity, but as a sacred space, a spiritual garden. If you leave a garden untended, what happens? Weeds grow. It will be overrun by whatever seeds the wind happens to carry. Thorns, poison ivy, invasive species. This is the untended mind infested by the weeds of collective fear and external programming. To cultivate a garden is an act of conscious will. You must vigilantly remove the weeds, yes, but more importantly, you must deliberately plant the flowers, the fruits, the trees you wish to see grow. The thought is the seed. Your reality is the fruit. This is not passive philosophy. This is active, practical work. This is mental mastery. And there are 3 core disciplines. 1. The discipline of conscious substitution. When a thought of fear, lack, or self-judgment enters your awareness, and it will, you do not fight it, you do not analyze it, you do not indulge it. You acknowledge it calmly as you would a passing cloud, and then you let it go by immediately putting a powerful, truthful thought in its place. You starve it of attention. If the thought is, "I can't do this," you don't argue with it. You withdraw your energy and place it firmly upon its divine opposite. I am the instrument of a power that can do all things. You choose your frequency. 2. The discipline of the mental diet. This is perhaps the most radical and life-altering practice. For a set period of time, Emmet famously suggested 7 days. You refuse to entertain any negative, destructive, or limiting thought about yourself, about another person, about the world. You become a vigilant gatekeeper of your mind. You filter what you consume. You turn off the news that is engineered to produce fear. You step away from conversations soaked in gossip and cynicism. You curate the music you listen to, the books you read, the content you watch. You starve your mind of junk food so it can begin to feast on truth, beauty, and power. You will discover just how addicted your mind is to negativity, and you will break that addiction. 3. The discipline of deliberate repetition. A new thought is like a new path in a dense forest. The first time you walk it, it's difficult. You have to push through the undergrowth. But walk that same path every single day, and soon you wear a clear, wide trail. The old paths of negativity grow over from misuse. This is how you rewire your brain. You deliberately install new beliefs through repetition, through affirmations, through visualization, through prayer. You are consciously programming the subconscious mind, replacing the old corrupted code with a new divine operating system. Daily, deliberately, without fail. But don't just listen to this. Live it. To help you begin, we've created a free companion ebook, a simple, powerful guide to put these practices into motion. It's not a summary. It's a tool designed to help you reclaim your mind, one thought at a time. You'll find it in the description below. Download it, print it, carry it, because some awakenings don't come from more noise. They come from quiet repetition.
For too long, humanity has slept, dreaming it was the dream, forgetting it was the dreamer. We have lived as puppets, unaware of the strings, mistaking the play for reality. But a great awakening is happening, a quiet revolution, taking place not on the streets, but in the silent temple of the human mind. A man is what he thinks about all day long. Change your thought, and you change your life. The world you see is not the world as it is. It is the world as you are. It is a perfect mirror reflecting the contents of your own consciousness. The suffering, the chaos, the limitation, it is all the fruit of a mind tuned to the frequency of fear. Change the frequency, and the reflection must change. It is the law. Don't just understand this. Try it. Choose one thought today. Just one. Watch it. Replace it. And feel what happens when you take the wheel back. So I ask you again, the thought you are thinking right now, is it yours? Did you choose it? Does it serve your highest good? Does it build the reality you truly wish to inhabit? Or is it just an echo, a piece of static from a channel you never chose to listen to? Reclaim your mind, or someone else will continue to claim it for you. Freedom is not a place you arrive at. It is a choice you make moment by moment with every thought you choose to entertain. Liberty begins where illusion ends. This video is not a conclusion. It is a doorway, a portal, and the password is a question. Who is thinking in me? The next time a thought arises, don't assume. Ask.